Hi, good morning. Welcome to all of you who are viewing this morning on Synergy TV and who are listening on U97.5 FM radio, as well as Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada. This is Freedom Monday on Zelisas, and we are going to have a good program this morning. Our guest this morning is MP Rushton Parry, the Member of Parliament for Mayaro, and we'll be talking about local government, the campaign, and things around local government. In Master Control is Hisham, and Hisham will be doing the needful to make sure we have a good program on this Monday, the 7th of August, 2023. Zelisa is not here this morning, so I will carry on as best as I can. I want her to know that we miss her. And I will take a break now to give you the quote of the day, compliments Fab India Expo. And that quote of the day is, accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a flower to grow. And I've seen Zelisa do these quotes of the day, and really the quotes of the day make you think, and it also lifts your spirit. So I want to leave that with you. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a flower to grow. This morning, before we get to Mr. Parry, I want to talk to you a little bit about the big issue that is dominating the landscape more than anything else, and that is the issue of crime. It is a really problematic issue here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to say that we are caught up in a debate on the wrong things about crime. Because what we are caught up on really is, who is the victim in this? There are people who are taking the positions that the criminals are in fact the victims of society, and they might be, but the victims of crime are the victims who are, on whom crime is perpetrated, and who end up being victims, either being murdered, wounded, having someone close to them being murdered or wounded, having their homes invaded. And therefore, we can't be in doubt about the issue of victimhood. There might be all kinds of sociological and economic reasons that have contributed to the development of the situation in which we are in. But we can't have confusion about who is the victim in this. The victim in this is the person on whom crime is perpetrated and who live with the consequences of that perpetration of crime, whether it is death or suffering. The second thing I want to say is that while we argue about guns and who should have guns and so on, isn't the problem that we are in now a problem that has emerged because of the failure of the state and the institutions of state through a combination of reasons for getting us to this point? And what are some of those reasons? There is, to a large extent, state and state institution irresponsibility. I don't think anybody should make excuse for that. If the state has been irresponsible, if the state institutions have been responsible, and that includes the police, then we should say so. Then we've had inertia. We've had the lack of resources. Police talking about lack of resources over and over again. We've clearly had the lack of will to deal with this criminal situation head on. We've had a lot of incompetence at ministerial level, at commissioner level, at police divisional level, in the police stations. We've had a failure of the enforcement system. Crime takes place, you can't detect, you have investigations that lead nowhere, you can't even get a charge that can stand up in the courts properly. Then there's the incoherence of the justice system and the corruption and complicity that comes with it, and some people believe very strongly, including myself, that there is a big protection racket in this country involving a lot of people from the political directorate all the way down. Now, this complicity and protection racket has really taken us, together with the other things I mentioned, to where we are today. So to argue now about putting guns in the hands of people to protect themselves, and I have no problem with that, because I really believe that people have a right to protect themselves in their homes. Or taking the position that if you deal harshly with a criminal, you might be doing some kind of injustice to someone who is trying to kill you. I mean, I really think that we are quarreling and arguing about the wrong thing. We have our priorities mixed up in this matter. And the fact that these have become the elements of discussion in a political campaign, and the fact that crime itself and the solutions to crime have been politicized in this way and have been partisanized in this way, and that have entered the realm in which it can foster racial and ethnic cleavages, and in which it can create the conditions for a kind of social conflict between the propertied class, so to speak, and those who belong to the criminal elements. I think that does not fare well for our country, and it does not reflect well on the political leaders of the country, whether they come from the PNM or the UNC, whether they are prime minister or leader of the opposition, or whether they are trying to seize political advantage in a situation in which the entire country is distressed. What we are talking about here is compounded by the fact that a woman in central Trinidad saw a man trying to break into a door on her property, in her house, to enter her home. She was in the house with her daughter alone. Her husband is the owner of a licensed firearm. She picked up the firearm and she shot at the criminal with criminal intent, and he died. And now the DPP is to determine whether that woman will be charged. I said here last week, and I'm going to say it again, I don't see how fairness and justice can allow the authorities who have failed in every possible way to protect the citizen can charge a citizen for defending herself in her own house. So I want to make no bones about that. The second issue that has occurred is that a woman whose husband died and owned a business, and she became, it seems, the inheritor of the business, and perhaps the thing was being contested in law, was suddenly ambushed. The woman has 4 children. She was ambushed and executed. Now, I don't want to get into the details of this, who might have done it and so on. That is not fair, it is not right, it is not good to speculate in that way. But the point is that that woman has now lost her life. Her children are in a situation where they have neither mother nor father. And the police have no clues about who might have been responsible for this up to this day. A number of days have passed. So the crime goes on abated. Here it is, a woman is executed. You have no clue. Here it is, a woman killed a criminal who was trying to enter her doorway. You want to consider whether you should charge her. And the state goes on in this matter without solution, without meaningful intervention. The criminal conduct of criminals continue. They kill people every day, murders every day, whether it's from gangs, whether it is home invasion, whether it is the difficulty of protecting your person and your property where you live. And the politicians are arguing about who shouldn't get shot at and who should have the right to shoot. And I think that more than anything else tells us how impotent the entire system has become to this overrunning of the society by criminal elements, facilitated by the ineptitude and incompetence of the state and the state apparatus. So I will stop at this point. We need a break now for commercials, and I will come back to you with our guest for this morning. Thank you very much for listening to me. This is Freedom Monday on Zelisa, 97.5 FM radio, Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, and Synergy TV. And we ask you to stay with us to continue a lively discussion. Good morning to each and every one of you.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call, 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
Charan's Bookstore. For all your school books, stationery items, uniforms, shoes, board games, toys, and much more. Visit them at any of their 3 branches located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down, calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
This is a final notice to all our patrons. Farbinger Expo will definitely be closing on Monday, 14th August, located opposite Medford Gas Station in Chaguanas. Everything must go. Get up to 80% off. We've got a massive sale on all furniture items. We also have new arrivals for the new season. Farbinger Expo, your one-stop shop. Check us out for ready-made garments, handicraft, footwear, jewelry, and so much more. We thank all our customers for their continued love and support. Once again, this is our final extension. Farbinger Expo will definitely be closing on August 14th. No further extensions. Check us out today, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Super quality supermarket, best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys, and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome to OATS, Optimal Alternative Treatment Solutions Limited, the future of healthcare, which provides full body scans, which we detect and treat cancer, tumors, all heart conditions, cysts, fibroids, dementia, Parkinson's, just to name a few. No radiation and medication is not needed. If you are tired of getting no results, call us at 354-4459 or 356-7226.
Good morning again. My name is Bo Tiwari. This is Freedom Monday on Conversations with Zelisa, 97.5 FM, Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, and Synergy TV. Thanks for staying with us and for joining us this morning. When I mentioned the quote of the day just now, I forgot to mention the sponsor, which is fabulous, Fab India Expo. And you saw some of their goods just now in the advertisement. And I want to say that we're very grateful to have them as a sponsor of this program. Thank you very much. We want to join Mr. Rushton Parry now, the Member of Parliament for Mayaro, and we want to have a conversation with him about local government. Let's see if we get Mr. Parry on. Rushton, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bo.
How are you going? How are things in Mayaro?
Good. Heating up. I mean, it's the final week before the elections on Monday, so everything is on full overdrive.
Okay, could you lift the volume for Mr. Parry, please, so we can hear him better? Okay, so you are on the ground, I suspect, every day, and you are also going to meetings and so on and talking to people. What does it feel like? Is the feeling intense, or is it lukewarm? Is it cool? You said it's heating up, but comparatively, what is happening?
So this has been a pretty long campaign, and it's ended with 7 weeks. And I think it was a strategy on behalf of the government to draw it out in terms of perhaps finding whatever weaknesses in the opposition in terms of being able to finance a long campaign. But we've been pretty smart in the activities. We read that play, and we have had a very strategic movement on the campaign. So you find the first 5 weeks have been pretty low-key. A lot of cottage meetings, spot meetings. In Mayaro here, we have 5 incumbents, 2 new candidates. So you find the 5 incumbents. The strategy really was to go back into your electoral districts, report to your burgesses what your 3.5 years have been like, and touch base with large families and so on. So in the last week, we ramped up with a lot of more high activity meetings, public meetings, junction meetings. We had a fantastic meeting on Mayaro Junction on Friday night. Over 500-600 people turned out. This week, we will ramp up again. But we are ramping up in a way that it doesn't inconvenience the public as well. The political leader has made it very clear that part of our campaign, noise and noise pollution and mental health, has been part of the language on our Monday night forum as well. So she has given instructions that to try and not to use a lot of music trucks to inconvenience people. So you find more the regular biking this week, and a little more cottage meetings out in the open. So that's basically what's happening this week, and especially in Mayaro here. and how we will get into the weekend for the national rally and so on.
So you think your focus has been mostly on message, and what has been your main message that you are driving? Tell me first about Mayaro, and then secondly how that resonates nationally.
Okay, so again, when you have incumbents, the messaging really has to be about your performance over the last 3.5 years. One of the PNM's, I should say one, but the only message that has been coming from the PNM's candidate has been about local government reform and all the benefits that it is going to bring to Burgesses. We all know that the only part of the local government reform that was enacted was to have the extension that the government brought up last year. And I suspect if there was not a court matter that went to the Privy Council, the state might not have been given in any way to hold the election. So it's something that the United National Congress was preparing for quite some time. And we have quite a few messages that the political leadership articulates quite clearly on the Monday Night Forum as national issues. And then here in Mayaro, we are dealing with, specifically because of incumbency or delivery, the Mayaro Regional Corporation has been under the control of the United National Congress for quite some time. So that changes the conversation a bit from the national conversation. So we find a middle ground for both at the end of the day.
So you think you will hold on to the 5 seats you have now? You will get more? You feel you have any challenge in any of those?
There was one sitting. So before the election, we were 5-1. There were 6 seats at the mayoral corporation. What the ABC did, they did some PD changes, and they split the one mayoral seat into 2. So now we have a mayoral north, and we have a mayoral south by Mayaro. Now, both of those seats, based on the grade, they are still the old data, the 2019 data, still puts it in an advantage for the PNM. But what we've been able to, we have 2 very young, bright, articulate candidates. They've been doing extremely well. I think they've been pulling a lot of traditional PNM support, and I expect both of them to do considerably well. So much so that we are extremely confident that we are going to take all 7 seats at the regional competition in Miami. Hold on to the 5 that we have.
So you think that there's the potential for a sweep?
Yes, definitely, because of the quality of the candidates that we've provided and the momentum that they, as new candidates, they've been able to build. We're looking at the numbers every day, and it's very, very encouraging. But Bo, as you know, the elections are won on election day, the machinery.
Yes,
and
with
how we expect to
machinery.
be won.
Yes. Okay. What about the rest of the region there? Those eastern counties. That is that's a pretty complicated area, and it's an area that has moved from one party to the other at different points depending on the kind of momentum, kind of campaign, kind of candidates. What's happening in the neighboring region, the Sangre Grande region?
So I can tell you this. Now, I am the coordinator for the Mayaro Regional Corporation. There are other coordinators for other areas. But when we meet, some information is shared. I think they're doing pretty well in San Grande. A lot of the polls that have been done are giving it a 50-50. But we are going hard in San Grande. It is important that we keep hold of that corporation. Right now, as you know, we are 7-7 nationally. So, it's important that we hold on to the stock. At the end of the day, we've had some changes at the San Grande in their lineup of candidates. We've had a few changes. Again, the party has been able to field some very good candidates. There was the expectation that there would have been some pushback because of the change of candidates. The former chairman there, Mr. Jutaram, he's no longer part of the election campaign. while he remains the chairman of the corporation until a new chairman is sworn in, he was replaced. And the candidate to replace him has done very well, fairly well. And I think from all the data that is coming back to us, we will hold on to that Sandy Corporation. The other bordering corporation, us, is Princestown has always been a very strong UNC corporation. We don't expect any changes in that corporation. And I think the other battleground corporation for the UNC is the San Fernando Borough Council, City Council, sorry. That too, I understand that we're doing considerably well. That it's 50-50. Polls are coming 50-50, which is good for us. So again, the election day machinery should make the difference for San Fernando.
Yes, well, I mean, I think from the experience of politics in this country, it really does matter who comes out and who you are able to bring out to vote, actually vote on election day. And traditionally, local government turnouts have been fairly small,
Yes.
and voter enthusiasm is generally not high. So that's why I started the conversation by asking you about voter enthusiasm. But you raise an important thing. As it stands now, which is now 7-7, if you held on to the Sangre Grande Corporation, that would most likely keep you at 7. Princestown is yours, so that would remain part of the fold, so to speak. But the place that you are hoping for gains is also San Fernando. And that is a difficult and complex region. It's a city council, and you have both urban, rural, underclass, middle class. It's a very complex area. You've also had some shifts there in terms of candidates moving from the UNC, in one particular case, to the PNM. Without talking about, I don't want you to talk about San Fernando alone. You talked about Sangre Grande, and I got the picture there clear. I think listeners and viewers would have gotten it. But start with Princestown. Do you expect to keep all your seats there in Princestown? And secondly, do you expect to make gains in San Fernando? And talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So I mean, again, not having physical access to the data, live data, I would have conversations with other coordinators, in terms of how things are going in the region. We do expect gains in San Fernando. As a matter of fact, the data for even Arima is coming back very positive as well. So we do expect to get some gain. And while, because of how the local government system is, even at 7-7, we can see some increase in the seats as well. So we may not win a corporation, but we may increase the seat. I think what's going to cause that, there's been a rally. I think the PNM is under severe pressure from their own supporters as well. So there has been a big push. The real question here is, how do we be able to convince the traditional supporters of the PNM to swing their vote to us on Monday morning? I do expect we will have some, because even in our own camps here in Mayaro, I've seen a lot of traditional PNM supporters who have abandoned the PNM ship, and they're wearing their yellow, they're coming to things, and they're not coward about it. They're coming and being very vocal about what's been happening with the PNM. And if you just allow me to just make a statement on that particular view, I think the PNM historically has always known how to win government, but they do not know how to run government. So one of the conversations I would speak at the cottage meeting, I'm reminding our own supporters that, there are basic items that we should never, as Burgesses, you should never have to worry about whether you're getting water, whether your street lights are being fixed, whether your drains are getting clean, whether the grass around your streets are getting cut. Those things are basic fundamental services that comes out of central government and local government. Local government is impeded by funding. So central government really has to take the brunt of the blame if these things are not happening. So when MPs and councillors come to your cottage meetings, it should really be about how do we lift your community? What programs do we bring in place? What opportunities for single mothers? But we spend our time fighting on potholes and drains that are not clean, grass that is not being cut in the savannas, which are all simple services that any government ought to be doing. It's like going to bed and you don't have to tell yourself to breathe. You don't have to wake up in the morning and tell yourself to blink. These things should be automatic. So if central government is unable to do these simple things, how are we going to get them to increase foreign direct investment? You spoke about crime this morning. How are we going to get them to get real solutions in terms of clamping down on crime when the basic items of water, drains, roads, potholes, they are unable to deliver clear solutions to things. And the supporters of the PNM, I think 8 years down the road, they have come to terms with that. So besides the great work that we have been doing as a party in terms of our messaging, in terms of how we have actioned this 7-week campaign, I think there's a natural pushback from the PNM supporters against their own party. And I think quite frankly, they're in panic mode. So that's how I'm seeing it at a very national level.
So would you go so far as to say that this local government election is a kind of referendum against the People's National Movement as the government of the country?
I think it's going to go both ways. I mean, I think we have done a reasonably good job on the opposition benches. The party is doing the best that it can. But really and truly, I think on Monday will be a true reflection of how the country sees the government of PNM. Because I would always tell in conversations, you know, they come and say that, you know, the UNC is not enough, the opposition is weak, you know, a number of questions that come up. But I want to just give an example. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa brought this stand your ground conversation at one of the Monday night forums. And stand your ground, it's something that it's common law in about 38 countries, it's used in a lot of states in the United States. And I thought that the Prime Minister, taking note of the spiraling downturn in crime, in terms of crime affecting the country, rather than bring this conversation about Mrs. Sadly Sessa wants to give guns to one set of people to kill the next set of people. Because I think that was a bit of whistling at the end of the day. But he could have used the example, the opportunity, as Prime Minister. As Prime Minister, he has a duty to responsibility to go beg him to talk. As Prime Minister, he ought to have gone and said, you know, opposition leader, we have a serious problem in this country. You've raised this matter of standard legislation. Let's talk. Let's look and see how can we bring legislation to Parliament to bring it into emergency session during this period. And let's see how it will impact, raise the level of confidence. You know, the Prime Minister could have been magnanimous and reach out to the opposition leader and have a conversation, rather than, as you say, they've created this space by not actioning it years that the conversation automatic and left and then those things have opened that conversation. We necessarily did not have to go there. If you had really had let's talk into the serious issue and let's see if we can find that legislation. Bring it into the law and it would have solved that problem which you regard to when you spoke of who had to shoot the man coming into a home in self-defense and now she's before the DPP, she take a charge. So, and I think that is one way we could have done it.
Well, yes, I think, I mean, I don't think the Prime Minister handled it right. Well, I will agree with you on that. he seemed to take a kind of divisive stand on behalf of the criminal element whom he saw as a potential victims in a situation in which householders were armed. But at the same time, do you think that the soundbite nature of the position of the political leader of the UNC kind of, you know, diminished the opportunity for a deep conversation about crime? Because clearly the solution is for crime is not to protect the criminals, and it is not at the same time to arm everybody in the country so that you have a perpetual shootout in the society. The solution to the problem of crime is really the state and the state apparatus playing the significant role that it needs to play in curbing and containing crime and dealing with gangs, corruption, drugs, guns, etc. But I'll give you some time to think about that. We'll take a break at this point and we'll continue the conversation. Thank you very much, Mr. Russian Parry.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call, 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
Charan's Bookstore. For all your school books, stationery items, uniforms, shoes, board games, toys, and much more. Visit them at any of their 3 branches located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
Visit Agri Savers Limited, number 19 Orange Grove Trace, St. Augustine. For all your agriculture, livestock, pet, agri-equipment, hydroponics, cannabis, fishing tackle supplies, and much more. Open Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Contact 473-6074, 663-1094. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Passage to Asia, the award-winning restaurant and banquet suite located in the heart of Chaguanas, the best fusion food restaurant in Trinidad and Tobago. From the second you enter to the moment you leave, you will be treated like royalty. Come, dine in luxury and enjoy the finest combination of Asian cuisine prepared by skilled and qualified chefs. At Passage to Asia, the experience is truly unforgettable. Perfect for families, couples, and large groups. Passage to Asia, located at St. Ives Street, Chaguanas. Contact 672-2701. Also, visit us on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome back. Good morning again. Thank you for staying with us and for viewing. I am Bo Tiwari. This is Freedom Monday on Conversations with Zelisa, and you are watching us on Synergy TV and Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, and you are listening to us on U97.5 FM radio. At Master Control is Hisham, who is keeping the show going, and we thank him for doing that. And we continue our conversation now with Mr. Rushton Parry, the Member of Parliament for Mayaro. And we asked him a question and left him with that to think about it, and he will come back and respond. Rushton.
Yes.
Speak into the microphone, okay? So I hear you more clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot closer to the microphone now, so I'm hoping it's coming a little clearer.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so the questions that you left before we went to the break, I would not want to comment on the commentary made by Mrs. Prasad Biswas, because obviously she would have had been given the necessary advice from our strategists in terms of the language. But if one were to judge from the response that you are seeing on social media, she has gotten quite a bit of support from the business community, from, I mean, a lot of corners of the society. So there seems to be some support for it. Now, whether that is, as you made the point, we don't want to have a Mexican standoff with everyone having a gun at the end of the day. And then there are a lot of scenarios where persons can take advantage of it, like in the Trayvon Martin case. And you end up with a lot of Trayvon Martins, and you don't want that. But it comes back down to the space that has been left open because of the poor performance by the PNM. So there's two things that I keep wondering why we haven't been able to resolve in this country in 8 years. First of all, we have 4 Augustus Westland choppers that were purchased under Patrick Manning in 2010. It was delivered to the People's Partnership in 2011 or 2012, somewhere around there. Getting the facilities ready for those choppers and so on, there was some challenge in terms of having air-conditioned hangars and so on. And by the time government changed in 2015, the PNM administration shelved the contracts, the maintenance contracts. And you had 2 birds here in Trinidad sitting in a warehouse somewhere in the United States. And none of these aircrafts are up in the air to aid the crime-fighting assets at the end of the day. And the argument Minister Young had was that $35 million a year contract, US, was too expensive. Okay, if it is too expensive, based on our current financial conditions, couldn't we go to Augustus Westland and say, guys, look, can we get a reduction in the maintenance costs? Because the birds on the ground is not helping us for our safety and security, but it's not helping your brand either. If your Augustus Westland choppers are up in the air, fighting crime in Trinidad and Tobago, it is a marketing tool for you to sell more choppers. So I believe a bit of negotiation and diplomacy between the government and Augustus Westland, we could have had those 4 birds up in the air to deal with issues of not only crime, but managing issues of flooding and traffic and things which seems to be affecting us. Another issue that I keep wondering, we are going out of the way right now to have this coordinator for Caribbean prosecutions to deal with guns and guns trafficking into the Caribbean Sea that is, interfering with all the Caribbean islands. Why, if we are working so close with the United States government, we have the 12 damming vessels that are parked up in Stobbers Bay? Can't we ask the United States government to help us repair those vessels, put them back out for the Coast Guard so they can bolster our borders to stop these guns that are coming from Venezuela and other places and ramping up the crime? So while, it is one thing, as you say, to politicize the crime, and you have this conversation about the clip and empty the clip and light them up and so on, we are not addressing the real issues. The state continues to fail in addressing some of those basic items. Since 2016, Bo, you were in Parliament with us when $70 million was allocated for a new forensic sciences center being sponsored by the Chinese government. Up to today, the only thing they have done was concrete a little block and they put a 20-foot container to put some equipment inside it. So, I mean, the issues around crime, forensics, ballistics, and so on are so critical to the judicial system, and nothing has been addressed. So, you are right when you say that we are arguing the wrong things. And these are things that the state ought to be looking at feverishly going forward. and they're not addressing those things.
Yeah, well, from my point of view, I feel that to argue about who is the victim in crime has to be an exercise in stupidity, because you cannot make the sociological and economic case as a justification for criminality, nor can you make a racial case for their defense if they are criminals in the society. So that's the one thing. The second thing, in my view, is that you cannot have a situation in which you are living in a society in which shooting out is the way to deal with your safety. There is a thing called the state. Their responsibility, their first responsibility, is the safety of the citizen and the security of the country, the state. And there are institutions of state. You have the police, you have the military, including the Coast Guard on the ocean. All of these are under the jurisdiction of the state, under a ministry, and are capable of deployment and management. And you have gangs, and the police are fond of coming to the country and saying how many gangs we have and how well organized they are, and so on and so on. But we are not seeing any action on these matters. So I would like to see the attention for solutions focused and directed on these things, rather than whether or not a gangster is a victim, whether or not a person went into gangsterism because of societal victimhood, and in fact, whether or not an individual has the right to shoot and kill a criminal in defense of himself. And it is in that sense, I think, the whole thing has gone wrong in terms of the kind of discussion. I understand it. I understand the context. But I don't understand the failure of the political directorate in the country to see the really big picture, the deep problems, and the solutions to deal with this. We've got to take a break now. I will have you back for your closing comments, and then we'll break for that, and we will close up the show. Thank you very much.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call, 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
This is a final notice to all our patrons. Farbinger Expo will definitely be closing on Monday, 14th August, located opposite Medford Gas Station in Chaguanas. Everything must go. Get up to 80% off. We've got a massive sale on all furniture items. We also have new arrivals for the new season. Farbinger Expo, your one-stop shop. Check us out for ready-made garments, handicraft, footwear, jewelry, and so much more. We thank all our customers for their continued love and support. Once again, this is our final extension. Farbinger Expo will definitely be closing on August 14th. No further extensions. Check us out today, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Charan's Bookstore. For all your school books, stationery items, uniforms, shoes, board games, toys, and much more. Visit them at any of their 3 branches located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down, calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Hoover Car Park, Hoover, 98 Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Tile Expression Limited, the #1 leader in tiles. Large stock, unbeatable prices, wide variety of porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, wall and floor tiles, residential and commercial, granite and quartz countertops. Best quality from Spain, Italy, Brazil, India and China. Tile Expression Limited, conveniently located Monroe Road, Kunapir. Telephone 693-0015 or 223-TILE.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Freedom Monday. I am Bo Tiwari and we are on Conversations with Zelisa on Synergy TV, Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, U97.5 FM radio, and we are having a conversation this morning with Mr. Russian Paré, the MP for Mayaro. So let's get Mr. Paré and we'll have his closing comments, and then I'll be with you for a few minutes. Russian, the floor is yours.
Sure. I would like to make a clarion call to the supporters of the United National Congress that this election on Monday, it is very critical in terms of turning out. I would like you to turn out on Monday, and not only our supporters, but the country, and to express your dissatisfaction with the way how the PNM has been running this country for the last 8 years. For those of you who would have had issues with your councillors, your incumbents, your MPs, your party, this is about moving the People's National Movement in 2025. If we allow them to, slip through on Monday, I think, it's going to put the country in a very dangerous place. And we have to send a strong message on Monday that we will not have more of the government's incompetence, the Prime Minister's ability to boof everybody who wants to have a suggestion. He has made enemy with every thinker in this country. If you only have an alternative opinion, whether it's economics, law, sociology, then you are the enemy. You become unpatriotic. So my call to all citizens on Monday: come out on Monday. Traditionally, as Bo said, they have very low voter turnout, so local elections. Make a change on Monday. Come out in your thousands, your hundreds of thousands, and let's make a statement on Monday that we are fed up of the way how the country is being run, and we are preparing a battle for a political war that is going to come in 2025 as the UNC takes government from the People's National Movement. Thank you very much, Bo, for having me. It was a pleasure having the conversation with you today.
All right, and thanks a lot, Russian. All the best, and we'll see how the election day turn out, what it is like, and ultimately the results on the night of August 14th. Thank you so much for being with me this morning and for having this conversation on local government and the local government campaign. Crime continues to be the dominant issue. I don't think we can get away from it. It dominates the newspapers, it dominates the discourse. We were talking, Rushton, Paré, and myself, about local government and local government campaign, and inevitably we got on the issue of crime, because it really is the dominant thing. And I've written about this. I do a column on the Trinidad Guardian every Thursday. So look out for this one on Thursday, because I'm going to be dealing with this issue on crime, and the kind of debate that has emerged on crime in the context of local government election, and whether or not we are focused on the wrong things. So look out for it on Thursday and read it in the Guardian. But I want to say that now we have in the middle of the local government election campaign, a quarrel, a back and forth on this issue of crime. But the crime continues, the killings continue. The lack of investigation effective investigation continues. The lack of detection continues. The faultiness of the justice system, all right, in which people who are incarcerated become victims in the remand yard system. They spend a very long time before their case is heard, so that in a sense they kind of develop a justification for being against the system. And many things go wrong in the justice system at different points in the justice system. I hope when the DPP sits down to consider this case, in which he is looking at whether he should ask the police to file charges against this woman who shot the criminal with criminal intent, who was trying to enter her premises, her household. I hope he will not only consider the law, which he must. We must be a society of laws in which we are guided by the laws that we have, but that he will also examine context, the context of increasing fear in this society, the context of increasing home invasions, the context of increasing boldness of the criminal element in this society, the context of seeming inertia of the police service. I was just talking to Hisham here, and I hope that he wouldn't mind if I repeat the conversation we had during the break. But he had a 15-year-old brother who was killed on the block, shot many times, God knows for what reason, along with others, and he died on the spot with bullet holes in his chest. And this was within walking distance and visibility from a police station, he told me. And and he was telling me how he lives with that hurt right now, because the case was never solved, and that how traumatized he was for a long time because of that. And many of us know, almost all of us know people who have either lost loved ones in criminal activity, or who actually know someone who was killed because of criminal activity, or who know people who have been robbed or challenged, their homes invaded, people murdered. I mean, don't we in this society have any conscience that we cannot continue with this, in which every time you walk the street, you have to worry about whether you are going to leave and go home safe? I mean, is that any way to live in a society? And can the quarrels by politicians be excused while this killing and criminality continues unabated and the police action seems hopeless at curbing any of the problems that we are talking about here. The drugs continue, the guns continue. It is true that we are taking action now to work with the United States, and there have been some successes to curb the gun running from the United States to Trinidad and Tobago. But that has become necessary because our own customs do not function properly. It has become necessary because our coast guards do not function. They don't even go out to sea. That has become possible because you have gangs in Trinidad and Tobago who are now aligned with criminal elements outside, and the battle within gangland is becoming much more sophisticated. So I want to say to you that we are living in perilous times, and the state has to intervene and do something about it, and cannot make excuses anymore, and cannot focus on the wrong things. They must focus on the real things. So good morning to all of you. This is Freedom Monday on Conversations with Zelisa. We thank you for talking with us. And next week we will have another guest. We will shift from the politics a little bit. Next week we will have a guest from the University of the West Indies, and we'll have a conversation about another matter altogether. We'll have a conversation about literature and V.S. Naipaul, the only Nobel Prize winner of a Trinidadian by birth from Trinidad and Tobago in literature. Thank you very much for watching and for listening.